Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Unfiltered Real Talk Podcast. With me today is this very special guest all the way from Nigeria, Anne Agushe. And she is going to be sharing with us her story, her journey, what she is doing to support persons with hearing loss. I'm going to turn it over to you, Anne. If you can introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about just who you are.
I'm a graduate of mass communication from Kogi State University. I'm a makeup lover, as I told you earlier.
Yeah.
I was diagnosed with hearing loss at the age of 14.
14.
13, 14. Yeah. So my hearing loss journey has not been easy, honestly. It has not been easy, especially in a place like Nigeria.
Of course.
You have to deal with a lot of bullying, you have to deal with a lot of abuses, and you have to learn how to fight for yourself.
Absolutely.
So I had that issue while growing up. Even till now, I still have the issue, but I've been able to overcome the challenges, and I'll be able to accept myself for what I am rather than what people want me to be.
Right. Very important.
I was 9 years old when I discovered it myself, but I didn't know what it was.
Of
So I
course.
just brushed it off and something to come back, to take care of yourself, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when the issue started, I didn't tell my parents, I didn't tell anybody, but I just noticed there was a decrease in my hearing. And it was when I was 13, my dad discovered that I actually had hearing loss, because most times they talk to me, I won't even hear, and I can't hear what you said.
Mm-hmm.
But when my dad discovered it, that day, the very day he discovered it, we had to go to the hospital. He explained to my dad that I'm fortunate because the hearing loss he's seeing, my left ear, I can't really hear well with it. My right ear is what is managing the 2 ears at the moment. So he told my dad and my mom that we need to go to a private clinic in Abuja too. And told my parents we needed to get hearing aid. I didn't even know what hearing aid was.
Of course,
I never
yes.
heard of it.
It would have been foreign,
So,
yes.
so
Absolutely.
when we went there, we had to go back home and raise the money, because my parents saw it as an opportunity for them to help me recover, because I was having problem with my academics. I wasn't doing well with my academics. You won't say I'm not someone who is, I don't know, smart. So we were able to raise the money for the 2 years, because I couldn't use just one hearing aid.
Right.
So I had to
So
be
you
able
need
to
both for
balance.
both ears, yes.
Yes, I had to be able to balance the 2 years. So when I got the first hearing aid in 2006, that I used that one till 2010. Unfortunately, I damaged it. I didn't even know I damaged it.
Oh.
So when I damaged the hearing aid, we took it to the consultant here for him to do the repairs. We noticed we couldn't repair it in Nigeria. We had to take it overseas, which is the United States.
Wow. How did you come up? Like, were there resources from the government, right? Or from any kind of body to help you pay for that repair?
Oh, no. My parents, I don't know. I think it's because my parents were both civil servants at the moment. So I think they were able to pull their
To
resources together.
raise the funds. Okay.
Yes. And the money at that time was, I think about that time I bought the hearing aid. I think I bought it over 300 plus at 2006. So you can imagine how expensive it is. And I'm not the only child. 2010, taking the case up, it was like, you are just wasting your time. That was the kind of advice people gave to my dad, that instead of wasting that money in going to court, why don't you buy another one for her?
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to get a second one in 2010. When I got the second one, I think that was the best hearing aid I ever used.
Wow.
Up to this moment, I
And you
got the
got
new
the
one,
one you got in 2010 was also from Nigeria.
but also from Nigeria.
Mm.
I love the hearing aid. But 4 years after, I noticed it wasn't working well again. So I think I have a glimpse of what I got. This is
Okay.
I have a glimpse of what I got. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I can see. I can see it. Yeah,
This is the
maybe
first
just
one.
hold it up a little bit longer. Yes, perfect. Yeah,
Yeah. This
yeah.
is the first one I used.
So this is your
I used
very first hearing aid.
Yeah, this is my
Wow,
first hearing aid.
wow, wow. For
So this is
14
the
years
second
ago.
one. This is the second
Okay.
one I got
Wow.
in 2010. So by 2014, May 2014, the hearing aid, the second one actually got spoiled, and I had to get a third one in 2014. I
Okay.
think this is the hearing aid. I have the two pairs. So as old as it is, I have the two pairs. For the first time,
No,
I
it's
have the two
good.
pairs of
It's
hearing
also
aid.
good for our viewers
So
and
this is
listeners
it.
to put a picture to it. So, wow.
So this is. I did
Okay.
it. The third one wasn't as good as the rest, so I began to have migraine, pains
Wow.
in the ears, fatigue. I
Wow.
noticed I pain my ears a lot, and that affects me socially because
Of course.
I can't stay outside for long because of the hearing aid. I'll begin to have this banging migraines and other things that accompany it. So August 2020, I had to discuss with my parents, and my parents were able to raise the money to get the last one I'm using now. This is the recent one. I got
Okay,
in
that's
August.
the okay, wow.
Yeah, it looks similar to the third one.
Okay.
They are both similar, but there's a difference between the two of them. The third one is analog, while the one I'm using presently now is digital.
Okay. Analog and digital. Okay.
So I think the digital is better for me. So I've been using it. I'm getting used to it. So
And do you remember like how much it cost them to pay for this digital one as of August 2020?
yes, I paid over 530,000 to buy the
Wow.
2 years. Yeah,
That's a lot of money. That's a
yeah,
lot of money. So, you know, quick math for people who are in Canada, because we're doing this from Canada, one Canadian dollar to about 300 naira. So 500,000 for easy math divided by 300 uh, naira. I think you get a picture of how much it's quite expensive for folks to just
yeah.
afford this without any kind of insurance, any kind of medical support or government health care benefit.
So the government, I don't think the government have this kind of program that
They have
support
a long
people
way
with
to go, and and hopefully one of these days they will get to taking
yeah,
action. But there is so much that needs to be done to help persons with disability. There's just so much. And you
yeah,
were a fortunate person that your parents were public servants, they had jobs, they could save and raise the money for it. So my mind goes to people who don't have working parents, or who maybe their parents are in low income, right? Like, or they don't even have a job. Like they work on the streets. How are they going to pay for their child who may be having hearing loss issues? So that's where my mind goes to. So I want you to tell us a little bit now about what that felt like the first time you wore a hearing aid 14 years ago. How did that feel now getting full hearing versus when you didn't have the hearing aid? What was that first experience like when you wore it?
the experience is huge. The difference is huge. Yes, because prior to getting the hearing aid, I noticed I'm someone who don't talk much because of
Mm,
the speech defects. So most times when people are talking, I just keep quiet in conversation. I don't contribute my quota or anything.
Right.
So prior to getting the hearing aid was a bit hard. It's not very hard. I wasn't completely deaf, so I won't say that I was deaf and dumb because I had a speech defect. That
Yes.
actually sound like there's something in my mouth when after there's nothing in my mouth. You understand? So getting the hearing aid for me, it took a lot of work for me to get to this level where I can talk in public. I'm a very shy person. Maybe because of the hearing issue, I became shy because I know I
Mhm.
was a lively person. But all of a sudden, I noticed that I'm actually shy and I don't like talking in public. Anything that had to do with conversations in public, I try to avoid it. So, getting this hearing aid, if I'm to use the year 2020, I think it has helped me a lot. So now I can talk in public if I want to. I can do whatever I want to do. I can contribute in
Mhm.
any conversation because
Absolutely.
I can, not because I won't be able to. So the hearing aid is a big plus in my life. I won't lie. 14 years using the hearing aid till now is a big plus in my life. I won't
Absolutely. Yeah. So, what I would like to mention to our listeners and our viewers of this episode is some of the stereotype and the stigma and the myths associated with persons who have hearing disability. And a place like Nigeria, where Anne and I come from, or other African countries or developing countries as a whole, having any form of disability is a huge detriment to that person and affects the entire functionality and quality of life of that person, right? Because there's bullying, like you mentioned earlier. There will be all kinds of ridiculing. You are seen as less than smart. So all these stereotypes are something that as a society, as a people, as women, as men, that's what we need to really work on. And being African people, I think it's something that we need to continue to raise awareness about. And that's the intention of our conversation today. That's the whole purpose of our conversation is raising awareness on issues around disabilities, issues around vulnerable people, right? And today we're talking about hearing loss. And it's great that people are raising awareness. It's great that people are talking about it, but we have to keep talking about it. And we also have to recognize the subtle ways that bullying or ridiculing or being negative to persons with disability may show up, or just little subtle things that we do sometimes to people, the persons who are not who may not look the way we look. You know, he said, when you talk, it appears like you have something in your mouth, and then maybe you just like, this, I don't want to listen to this person. Who is this person? Why are they talking like that? You know, we have to be very careful that we're not quick to dismiss what appears to look different. We're not quick to dismiss what appears to look less than us or doesn't look like us. What are some of the challenges that you experience? What was that like when people saw that you had a hearing aid? So tell us a little bit more about some of those challenges and some of those experiences.
Okay, I'm going to talk about my university experience
Okay,
because I think that is the most recent I've had.
absolutely.
So when I got admission into the university,
Mhm.
I noticed I was the only one in the entire school. Like,
Wow.
you have over 10,000 of students
Of course.
there.
I'm trying to paint the picture. There's thousands of people in a school, and you
Yes,
were the only person?
yes, I was the only person using hearing aid. Like,
Wow. And
yeah. Like you're surprised because it's not a common thing in Nigeria.
I'm
You get,
shocked. This one
yeah, it's
shocked
not a
me.
common
It shocked me.
thing. You know how many times I have to pack my hair up and
Oh
I have to walk on the streets in school and I'm walking on the road and someone like, what is that in your ear? Don't you know what you know that kind
my
of I don't know.
Yeah, I
So
know. Cover that thing for your ear. I know how way. I know how people.
I've had I've had that kind of experience. There was even a time one of my schoolmates, my friend, after school we went to an issue to eat. So I don't know, there are some big boys on campus that came
Bigger
to,
boys. Yeah.
yeah. And you know what it means to be a big boy on
Oh, I
campus.
do. I do.
Yeah, you have to be very careful. So when I was eating, I was just smiling and eating my food. Then the boss or the guy, I don't know, come in. I'm like, why are you looking at me like that? I'm like, how am I looking at you? Like, you're looking at me. Complaining. Instead of doing people here, just block this one, that one. I've been playing TikTok. I just sit down looking at the guy like, come, are you talking to me? I don't know. I don't know what is the reason for this kind of reaction from you. I had a presentation in class. Like I was this bubbling person. Funny enough, I talk, I just when I want to talk, I
Yeah,
talk.
we can
So
see
we had
it. Yeah, we can hear it too.
so when I had a presentation in my 100 level, the whole class had a presentation, individual presentation. And in that class, we were about 300, more than 300 in the class.
Wow.
That's for my first.
Mm-hmm.
So we were more than 300. We had a presentation, and I was asked to answer a question on stage. So because my voice wasn't loud enough for the lecturer to hear, the man asked me, yeah, in the, I don't know, lecture room in Nigeria, you know how we build, you
Yes.
have this, it's actually big. So the lecture room, there was this staircase that would take you to the back. The man asked me to climb the staircase and run up and down because I couldn't answer his question
Seriously?
loud enough. Yeah, seriously. That was the beginning of my issue in the university. Since that day, I had, when someone who has a confidence in herself,
So
that
in
confidence,
front of 300 plus people, because you could not
yes,
project your voice loudly, you were punished
yes,
by told to run up and down stairs?
yes, yes. It happened to me. It's not like it happened to someone else. It happened to me. I cried in the class that day. I was in 100
Can
level.
only imagine.
I cried in that class. I have never cried in the class before, but that very day I cried. And I don't even know. That was the beginning of my problem in the school because I lost my confidence, I lost my voice, I lost everything concerning me. So most times I'll just quietly enter the class and go to the back to avoid any kind of embarrassment. Or is it when the lecturer is giving his dissertation or lecture? How do you call it? In Nigeria, you have to, after the lecturer is talking, you have to write.
Absolutely. Here too,
So,
take notes. Yeah.
yeah. So when we were doing that, I had friends. I had about 4 friends in my class. I'm always sitting with them to ensure I'm able to copy whatever they put down because I won't be able to do it on my own. Even if
Mm-hmm.
I hear some words, I'll have to still collect notes to complete whatever space that is left in
Sentences.
the note.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think when one of those lecture days we had a class, I don't know, maybe because I was looking at my friend's notebook to write down what she wrote. Because that day I was not just, I don't know what happened, but I know I was not hearing well that day. So due to ignorance, it told me, hey, you stand up. And I like, okay, what did I do? I said, what did I do? He said, why are you looking at the person's clothes? I said, because I can't hear what you are saying. That's why I have to look at the person's nose. Then I said, that's how you block your ear. The people like you that will be walking on the road will block your ear. In Nigeria, you have to be scared of the lecturer if you want to graduate, that kind of
Right.
thing.
Yes. Yes. You have
To
to
avoid,
appease them.
you have to avoid all this kind of issues. So that's what happened in the class that day. And I'm okay. This is how I'm going to cope in this school. Fine. I don't have a choice. My own is let me go and graduate and get out. That was the mentality
And
I
kudos
had.
for you for sticking through it. Kudos to you and everybody out there who continues to persevere regardless of your, disability. And I don't like that word disability, to be honest, because we are all able to do whatever it is that we want to do. And I know this is
Yeah,
a term that we use. So I just want our listeners to understand that it's not a term that we like. And I can say that it's not a term that I like at all. So just know that I'm only using it as for just for the purposes of maintaining universal communication and universal term of speaking. So
yeah.
I
I
want
understand. I
to,
understand.
yeah, I want to take a moment to, just talk about people raising awareness and the importance of raising awareness. I think there's something that can be done by the Nigerian government and other NGOs over there that stand for these causes to go and raise awareness, do some kind of educational campaign in universities, in colleges, in secondary schools and elementary schools and other forms of institution, because they frankly don't know. Those bigger boys that said to you, what is that thing in your ear, don't know. Maybe they just thought you had like regular headphones and you're just trying to block out the world,
Yeah,
you're listening to
yes,
music. But there's a
yeah,
different, there is that, but there's also a hearing aid, and that's what you
yeah,
had, and it's not the same thing, right? And there's also that piece where I would expect teachers and leaders to know more, right? So if you told your professor that you can't hear and that's why you need to look at someone else's notes, it's not the time to say that's why you blocked your ear. Like, it's a time to ask the question. Maybe it's the way I'm speaking. Maybe I need to speak louder, or maybe I need
yeah,
to have a sit down with that student to understand what their need is. So again, very important that we as individuals are doing our part to support persons with disabilities, and that institutions as well are working hand in hand with people with disabilities
yeah,
to make sure that they have the timely services and the timely supports that they need at that time.
yeah.
So what I want to shift gears and do now, you've told us a little bit about your journey discovering when you had a hearing loss, a partial hearing loss, the journey towards finding the right hearing aid, pushing through, persevering, and going through to university and becoming a graduate. I want to talk about some of the things that you do, because I know you've been doing something. I saw your platform, Hearing with a Difference, on social media. So talk about the vision behind that platform and the purpose behind it and what you hope to achieve as you continue campaigning for persons with hearing loss.
Okay. Before I started hearing with a difference, I noticed that there are a lot of things that need to be addressed here in Nigeria
Absolutely.
concerning hearing loss. So my platform, I'm using my personal page on Facebook, and I have a page on Instagram, hearing with a difference.
Okay. Hearing with a Difference.
Yes. The aim of that page is to create awareness, to let people know within Nigeria, because my target market is Nigeria.
Nigeria, absolutely. Yes.
But although I've been able to make friends from overseas, and they've been able to ship in their ideas into it. But the main aim is to focus on my environment, Nigeria, my country. You go to the hospital today, you complain, oh, I can't hear with my left ear, I can't hear with my right ear. You understand? By the time the audiologist brings his list of what you have to pay, you are going into millions. You understand? These things are not cheap for people. I was able to, I think few weeks ago, I was able to chat with over 10 people who have hearing loss and can't even
Wow.
afford to buy one hearing aid. That is the problem most of them have. So why am I doing this now? I'm using my own platform, using my own experience to let the world know that we have this group of people in Nigeria, male, female. They have hearing loss. They
And
can't
children
hear.
too, possibly
My
children, because
children,
sometimes I
yes,
feel like
sorry.
because of that lack of resources and awareness, when a
Yes,
child has these hearing limitations,
yeah,
they don't know, right? And parents don't know either. There's no awareness. So it's not until
yes,
they're much
yes,
older and the issue, the damage is already advanced that they begin
yes,
to know that, these things happen. So take, for example, in the society where I live, once your child is ready to go to elementary school, so when I say elementary school, I'm trying to do a quick conversion, what that is here. It will be like kindergarten here, like
okay,
preschool to
yes,
kindergarten. So they're about 4 to 5 years old. So I don't know if that's primary one or so in Nigeria. I'm not sure. But it's mandatory and really well promoted that you get your kid to go do an eye test and a hearing
oh,
test.
really,
Yes, you'll get a little form that will be sent to your
wow,
child when they go
that's
to school.
interesting. That's
It,
nice.
it will be part of the takeaway resources, and it's all free of charge. They will remind you, make sure you take your child to go for a test, because many times kids, you don't know until it's much too late. And when they get to class, again, because teachers, that's why I said the importance of institutions being part of this cause is crucial and necessary. So those teachers will be watching the students at that little age of 4 5 years. If the child is complaining, oh, I can't see that over there, I can't see this, or I can't hear, your call. So they watch these things and then they report back to the parents and they will suggest, why don't you take your kid to this? But in general, everybody gets an information package with a list of clinics and places you can go to. So these are some of the things that Nigeria can do, right, to make sure that as early as elementary school, kids, before they go off to school, I know people will say
Yes,
that this
yes,
is just utopia that I'm talking about here, but it is something that will happen one day with young people such as yourself who are already raising platforms to shape to for change, to talk about it and to raise awareness. It's
the problem here is the government. I won't just say the government. People are not just ready to take action
okay.
concerning this thing. They are not providing opportunities for people to be able to go to the hospital and get this thing at a cheaper rate. In Nigeria, most of these audiologists are extortioners. I won't lie. Because sometimes when you ask for the prices for this thing, and when you check it overseas and you are looking at the prices, you notice the whole difference is much. So the government needs to come in now. They can have a house here where they manufacture some of the hearing aids.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You know, and it will be cheap for people to get. You don't need to order from the US, UK, and other countries to get some of these things. So I think what what I plan to do, because I have been able to reach out to foundations overseas. Most of them are not based in Nigeria; they are based in the US, UK, and other countries. I was able to reach out to some of them, and majority of them do not have plans to come to Nigeria.
Wow.
When you try to explain that, okay, can you try and visit Nigeria since you are around this area,
Mm-hmm.
and they tell you, sorry, COVID-19. I know there is COVID-19. I can understand the COVID-19 aspect because the COVID-19 is
But before
looks
COVID
like some
19, where
yes.
were they in terms of breaking into the Nigerian environment?
I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm going there as an individual. Maybe it's because I haven't gone there as a group of people to ask them or seek their assistance for them to come into the country. But I've heard some of them came to the country, I think 2, 3 years ago. I don't
Okay.
even know. I can't. I heard someone talk about it, and he said they were able to give some people hearing aid. But it's not just by giving them the hearing aid. You have to provide options for them. How do they get their batteries? How do they
Mhm.
function when the thing has issues? You
Yeah,
have to teach them
damage,
some things.
exactly.
Yeah, so it's not just giving them the hearing. You have to teach them the basic things that have to come with hearing loss. Because there are days I as a person, the reason why I wear my hearing is when I step out of my house most times is because I want to hear when a car is coming from behind or when there's a car in front of me. I want to be able to know that there's a car in front of me. So it's not every day you wear this thing, but you have to make these people understand that there are times you have to allow your ears rest.
Yes.
Provide them with there's other ways to communicate. It's not just
Hmm.
with the hearing aid, there's
Yeah,
sign language and there are other ways. So because I just started, I'm trying to build myself, but I'll still be reaching out to foundations and I hope hopefully one day they will reply my message and we'll be able to come to the country. Even
absolutely.
if it's just to even if it's just for 2 to 10 people, you provide them with this thing. I think it's a long way to go than just staying without the hearing loss and you're going completely deaf because you don't have distance.
Thank you so much. And thank you. I like to encourage our listeners and our viewers right now to go check out Anne's social media page. You can find her, as she said, on Instagram at Hearing with a Difference, and it will be tagged on this video and podcast as well. So the final thing I would like to do is just give us some advice, just in general, advice that you have for young people such as yourself with regard to communicating and day-to-day interactions with persons with disability. What kind of general advice do you have for young people, and just any other form of advice that you feel is critical to supporting persons with hearing loss and in general persons with disabilities?
Okay. If you are a person with disability, whether hearing loss or any other kind of disability, first thing first is first thing you need to do is acceptance.
Okay.
Accept yourself the way you are. Nobody, it's not going to change overnight. There's no miracle that is going to happen.
Yeah, don't
But with
begin to
little,
run from church house to prayer house, prophecy
exactly,
corner, or whatever.
yes,
Mm.
yes. Don't begin to run up and down looking for miracles, thinking this miracle will come. The miracle you are looking for is within you. Whatever you want to do, it is you that will tell yourself that I can do it. Whether you are someone with hearing loss, you are someone who is blind, you are someone with cerebral palsy or any other form of illness, pick up yourself and do what you want to do. Don't let anybody intimidate you. I know it's not easy. It looks as if it's easy, but it's not.
It's
I
not,
have
yeah,
gone through it all. I've
it's
gone
not.
through the bullying, what have I not gone through? The insult, stigmatization, and the rest.
Mhm.
I've gone through it. And I'm telling you from experience, the moment you accept yourself, you are good to go. You are good to go. And secondly, is this is for those whose case are open that others can see, or they can't even see or anything. But let the world know that you have something like this, because this can be a stepping stone for you to be able to achieve something.
Absolutely.
I have gone to places where I meet crowd of people. I meet a lot of people in a gathering, and I'm expected to do the same thing they are supposed to do. But when I went to meet a lady and I explained to her my situation, it didn't take me up to 2 minutes. I did what I came there to do, and I went out. Use the opportunity and let people know that, oh, I have this problem. Don't just hide it and you want to do everything on your own. You can't. You
Mhm.
need help.
Thank you. Those are critical. I was trying to take mental notes. So the first one is motivation, and the second one is use what you have to
Yeah.
really leverage the opportunities that is going to come. So don't think that because you have this disability that you are that you're not able to get to that potential that you want to achieve. You can, and you can use that disability that you have to actually create opportunities that can take you, like you said, to take you to meet many people, to go out there and educate and be a leader actually in that area that you're looking to raise awareness about. And then lastly, I think you said, just don't be afraid to ask for help. And I think that just goes for so many things in life, regardless of disability. Like, don't be afraid to ask for help when you need help as a person. So thank you so much, Anne, for this wonderful, very heartwarming and uplifting episode. It's just amazing to see young people such as yourself in
It's
Nigeria
amazing.
doing
Yeah.
so much, and disability or no disability, like you're out there conquering the world. And I can really see you do great things, and I can see this taking you and propelling
Thank
you
you.
and projecting you to really
Amen.
great
Thank
places.
you.
So thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for coming on and chatting with me today. And I look forward to reading about you and hearing all the many things that you're going to be doing. So thank you for
Thank
being
you
here
very
today.
much.